Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be showing you guys a few awesome replicas of some pretty famous cars from movies, video games, pop culture, and more that can actually be recreated with the two new supercars from the latest Grand Theft Auto Online update, the Sultan RS and the Banshee 900R. So most importantly, if you've got any suggestions in the comments section down below for ones that I didn't cover in this video, please leave them, and I might end up making another episode featuring some of your suggestions as well. But I think we've got some pretty popular and pretty cool ones in this episode, so let's not waste any more time and let's get it started. Alright, so the first vehicle we're going to be recreating today is the Evo from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. So if you're unaware of what this car looks like in the movie, here's what it is. It's this really nice red and black themed Evo that we are actually going to be able to recreate today in Grand Theft Auto Online. So of course, for this, you're going to need the brand new Sultan RS, and you can pretty much upgrade whatever you want to do in terms of armor and brakes. Today, I'm just going to be focusing on the visuals and the aesthetics to make the car actually look like the one from the movie. So the first thing you're going to need to do is upgrade the front bumper, and for that we are going to be using the Drift RS bumper and canards. So I think this gives it a nice overall look, and you can also see the exposed engine in there as well, and the exposed grille, so it looks really nice. On the rear, you want to use the classic RS rear bumper as well. So those are the two options that you need to select for the bumper. Now, for the headlight trim, you can select whatever you want. I just went with stock because I felt like that was the most appropriate. Also, take away any rally lights you might have or select none. You also want to go with a carbon roof vent on the top. And finally, last but not least, you want to make sure your doors have the none option selected. So you don't want any wind deflectors and you don't want any window safety net. And as far as a roll cage, you want to put the full roll cage on there also. So for the exhaust, you want to go for the twin straight side exhaust. I really like this one. It's clean, and I think it looks really good on this car. For the fenders, I either recommend that you can do the secondary color arches or the stock fenders. We're going to be using the same primary and secondary color, so the only difference it makes is the secondary is a little bulkier. So again, it's all to your preference on whether you want to do with that. As far as the grille, I chose to use the stock grille. I honestly think it looks the best, and for the car look we're going, that's the one we want to go for. And for the hood, we want to use the vented hood also. So the vented hood gives us a little bit of pop, a little bit of flair on the hood, so that's one we want to select there. Probably most importantly, for our livery, we want to select Street Drifter. Street Drifter is going to give us that nice kind of like upward sloping gradient black parallelograms that look really, really nice. They get smaller and thinner as we go up on the door and closer to the back windscreen. So that looks really nice. That's the one you want to choose, Street Drifter. It gives the car a nice overall look. And for both your primary and secondary colors, you want to select a classic red. Now, you can play around with this whatever you want. If you want to do metallics, if you want to do mattes, it really doesn't matter to me, but I just chose classic for the sake of showing off this video. For the roof, you want to select the Vortex generators. They're simple, but they also give it a little bit of style up on the rear. For skirts, you want to choose the side skirt extension, which adds a little bit of carbon fiber to the base frame of the door. For the spoiler, you want to add the Carbon Wing Type 2. This is a kind of high-end wing, but it also touches on the nice carbon features that we have on both the bumper, fender, and also on the side skirts now. And finally, for wheels, you want to go into the sports category, and you want to select Organic Type 0. And you also want to make these black. So you can choose to have the custom tires on or off. I don't love the custom tires, so I'm actually going to take them off. And that is pretty much it. That is the recreation of the Evo from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. It's a really smooth and sleek look. The black and red go very well together, and they also pair very well with the carbon as well. So in case you're wondering how to do it, that's how. It's a really nice look. This is the Evo from Tokyo Drift. All right, sticking with the Sultan RS, we are going to be creating something from a very popular video game. It's actually the Assam Off Camo from CSGO. Now, I don't play CSGO, but I know it's a very popular game. Some of you guys might indulge in that. And there's a really cool camo, which I'll have on the screen right now. It's called Asamov, and it's this like orange, white, and black hybrid. It looks really, really nice. It's one of the most popular camos in that game. So that's what we're going to be creating today using the Sultan RS. Now, you can really choose whatever you want when it comes to customization. Since we aren't modeling it after a car, I just tried to get the best balance of black, white, and orange, and I wanted them to match pretty well. So I basically just selected all the bumpers, all the options that would give me splashes of colors in places that I typically wouldn't have. So I added things like rally lights. I also added things like headlight covers. I tried to do a bunch of things on the windows and with the engine block, making it as colorful as possible. Probably the most important thing you want to do here is make sure you once again select the street racer livery. That is by far going to be the most important, that you select that livery. Because other than that, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can add whatever spoiler you want. Again, I just tried to mix and match the blacks, whites, and the orange. The base of the car for me was white with kind of the flashes of orange on the spoiler and the hood. And last but not least, the black kind of gradient parallelograms going up the side of the car gave me a nice touch of black, as well as the bumper also. And because we're upgrading this in Benny's, I got to take advantage of some of the wheel options as well, creating some really funky wheels with, of course, the white wall. And my final product was ultimately pretty nice, with the orange on top and the white and black gradient on the side. So this is the Assam Off Camo from CSGO. I also added the orange neon underglow as well, just because I think it turned out personally really nice. I'd love to see what changes and other camos like this you would recreate with some of the cars that we have so far. All right, so up next, we're going to be creating a car from a very popular video game. It's actually Need for Speed. Now, this car we're going to be creating is Vince Killick's, who's better known as Taz, and is one of the antagonists in Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now, the most famous car that he drives is this one right here. It's kind of this bronzy gold, basically Sultan RS in game that we can create, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So overall, it was a pretty simple design. There aren't a lot of extreme modifications, as you can see from the original photo right there. Probably the hardest part was picking out a color. I played around with bronze, gold, and yellow, and also some of the other pearlescent options. So you can kind of see what I've done in the video right now, and you can also play around with it yourself. The color, of course, is not going to be perfect, and you can, of course, make adjustments to the things I say in this video. You don't have to just straight up copy and paste in order to get what you need done. You can, of course, make adjustments on the fly and add your own personal touches and twists to them. So once you've got the color down, we're going to be working on the bumpers and fenders. You're going to need to add the race bumper, and you're also going to need to add the vented GT rear bumper. Now, as far as the chassis, the only thing you're going to need to add is the primary color roof scoop, and you're also going to need to add the painted wind deflectors to your windows. And other than that, you can keep your roll cage. There isn't really any indication that a roll cage was or was not used in that video game, so you can choose to do that. Now, for this vehicle, I personally went with the wide body arch extensions. It kind of seemed in that video game that he had a little bit of a bulkier car, especially if he was going to be racing, so I went with the wide body extensions. As far as the hood goes, you're going to need to go with the power bulge hood. Again, a very simple but modest touch, but does give the hood a little bit of flair. Now, for this variant, you're not going to be touching any of the liveries. You're going to be opting out and not selecting any, which is actually cool. I kind of like the clean, modified versions of these cars. And for the roof options, you're also going to be leaving that stock as well. Now, you could easily go with the vortex generators, but because it looked like Taz's didn't have any, I decided to stay away from that. And for the spoiler, you are going to choose the Carbon Wing Type 2. Again, this is a really popular spoiler. It's massive, but it's also sleek due to that nice carbon finish. And other than that, you just need to select the wheels. I went with the Indo V1 sports wheels, and I, of course, made them a nice bright red color. And that pretty much finishes off our Vince Killick Taz design from Need for Speed Most Wanted. It's pretty much like a goldy bronze car with a few minor upgrades and those signature bright red wheels. So that's pretty much it. He was, again, one of the hardest racers in that game, Need for Speed Most Wanted. I think that was like my first Xbox 360 video game. So again, it was really cool to see that this could actually be recreated in Grand Theft Auto Online. So that is our Taz vehicle that we did recreate. All right, so up next, I'm going to be creating probably like the most popular version of the Subaru Rally Impreza with rally stickers, and it's this version right here. You might have seen me recreate it on my live stream, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. That's probably like the most popular design that I've been seeing, and I've been getting a lot of requests to show this off, so I absolutely will. So for starters on this, you're going to want to select the color. Now, I either like a blue or a dark blue. Again, it all depends on your personal preference, but some shade of blue is going to need to be the one that you ultimately start with. So I just went with a standard blue for this video. Up next, you're going to need to select your livery, and for this, we're going to be choosing the Karen Performance. This obviously gives us the best match to the photo we're trying to replicate, and also the blues and the yellows go really great together, so it's a perfect combination. For the bumper, I ended up choosing the Vented GT Bumper Extended, which gave us a nice look and also added the Tear Oil sponsors on the front. And for the rear bumper, I went once again with the Vented GT. So those were some pretty simple changes right there that we added. As far as doing stuff to the headlight trim, I went with custom eyebrows. I also added the carbon rally fogs. I added a roof scoop to the top, and I also did primary color bolt-on arches, giving the car a little bit of a more race-heavy look. And I also just stayed with the stock grille. I figured that was the easiest thing to do. And for the hood, we are going to be adding the scooped hood. So for the roof option, I went with the Vortex generators. I was torn on this, whether to go with the spoiler or the generators, but I think at the end of the day, I chose the Vortex generators. For me, I went with the stock skirt option. I didn't like the carbon fiber covering up any of those lower sponsors, so I just wanted to completely remove those. And for the spoiler, I went with the Rally Spec RS Wing. I figured we're making a rally car, might as well get a rally spoiler here. And for the wheels, I chose the Tuner Rally Masters. So I figured those were appropriate wheels as well. And I simply made them like a dark ivory, goldish brown color. And honestly, that's pretty much it. You can tinker around with the interior. I didn't want to focus on the interior too much because, you know, to each is its own. You can create your own interior the way you want it designed. Today, we're just focusing on the exterior. And this is what my Rally Master Subaru Impreza with custom stickers actually looks like, and I think the final product was awesome. So I love the way the blues and the yellows merge with this car. The bumpers and fenders that I chose look awesome as well, and a combination of the wide body arches looks pretty great also. So I really love this final product. It's probably my favorite design of them all, and I know it's a really popular choice for many of you guys as well. And finally, last but not least, we've got Han's Mazda RX7, which is the Veil side, and I think this looks incredible. So although this is the Bravado Banshee and his was the Mazda RX7, I still think that it's appropriate that we recreate it in game because Rockstar has given us the perfect livery and car to do so. So to get started, we're going to need to select a primary color, and I was really torn between bright orange, orange, and sunrise orange. Now, again, you can select whatever one you feel the best and what looks the best in your opinion. I decided to just go with orange for both the primary and the secondary. So you're going to want to make sure that both of those colors are the same. Otherwise, you're going to get some offsetting patterns that looks kind of awkward. So once you've done that, you're also going to need to select your livery. And your livery needs to be the black two-tone. The black two-tone essentially just creates the hood and the doors, the roof, and the back, a kind of blackish gradient to whatever color you have as primary and secondary. And that's what's going to give us such a great look. Now for the skirts, we're going to go ahead and select the carbon street skirts. I really like the look of this, even though it does cover up one of the Bravado sponsors, so I'm just going to have to live with that one. And for the spoiler, we're going to go with the Drift Wing, a modest size spoiler that looks really nice on this car. And really, other than that, all we're going to be changing up is the wheel. So if you go to Sports, you select Chrome wheels, and you select the Super 5, you're going to get this really nice shiny wheel that adds a nice accent to the rest of the car. And other than that, really, I just changed some minor things like on the inside and the dash, and my car was complete. This is Han's RX7 from Fast and Furious, and boy, is this an absolute beauty. So I love the way the orange and the black looks. I love the sponsorships on the back of Atomic and Bravado, and it really just is an overall beautiful looking car. Orange and black goes really well together, and the fact that the black is just in nice little touches like the doors and the hood makes this even better. So anyways, that's all the real life car variants that we're going to be recreating today in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know which one your favorite was in the comment section down below, and also some suggestions maybe for next time on what vehicles we should do next. If you did go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would of course be awesome, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily Grand Theft Auto 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.